Oh, it is mid-March, Endometriosis Awareness Month, and I am really, really late. I had planned on doing like a daily video um, with myths, facts, and more, but life gets in the way. Um, I don't really, I don't know where this path is taking, but I was first diagnosed with endometriosis at 20, so 21 years ago, I guess, about. And I've seen all the GYNs, I've had all the tests, I've did all of the things, and each time I was offered a hysterectomy. Well, it was something about the hysterectomy that didn't seem like what I wanted to do. It just it wasn't for me. And I thank God that I didn't do it, because had I had it when it was first introduced to me, then I would have had my other two kids. And even after I had the other two kids, when it was brought up again, I don't feel like I would be on this path. I wouldn't be trying to figure out ways to live with endometriosis, because that's what it is. It's endometriosis management. There's no cure for it. There is right now no cause for it. It's just something that we deal with. And they say 1 in 10 women have endometriosis. I think it may be more than that, due to the fact that it takes about 10 years to be diagnosed. The only real way to be diagnosed is through surgery, laparoscopically. And a lot of times it takes going back and forth to the doctor before you can even get the surgery. So a lot of times they say it's PID, pelvic inflammatory disease, a bad period. Nobody's periods are the same. So many different misdiagnoses that you can have. Even though the symptoms are there, you pretty much know. I do feel like that my mom and her sisters probably had it, and that it was passed down. I do believe it's hereditary. But because of the stigma around it, because even I was embarrassed to say that I had endometriosis, although it was something that I couldn't control. It felt like a disease that I some kind of way gave myself or got myself. So according to Google, endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside the uterus. With endometriosis, the tissue can be found on the ovaries, fallopian tubes, or the intestines. This is true, and I'm going to take it a step further. There has now known cases where endometriosis grows on the bladder, on the bowels, in the diaphragm, on the lungs, on the brain. Endometriosis is not just a reproductive disease, which is why hysterectomies don't cure it, because it doesn't just grow. Yes, it probably starts within the reproductive system, but it does spread. And I have even heard from someone that works in insurance that says it sometimes is classified as cancer. Well, years later, in 2023, we have just now discovered that it's the pain that comes associated with endometriosis is in like the top 10 of the most painful things that you can go through. And I'm going to say that I've had endometriosis flare-ups that have hurt worse than childbirth, because at least when you are in labor, they are managing it with pain medicine, epidurals, whatever. With endometriosis, a flare up, a lot of times they will give you a narcotic to numb the brain to make you feel like you are pain free. When in actuality, it's probably deeper than that. A lot of times, I used to be big on going to the ER when I had a flare, because normally with a flare up, it either means that there is a bigger problem, a cyst has ruptured, fibroid is growing and pressing on something, a number of things. And after so many visits, you're a drug seeker. They feel like that you want the medication. The medication is not the answer. That is just a temporary fix to a temporary problem. It needs to go deeper. And then when you start doing your research and you have questions and you decide to ask, or you take your health in your own hands and you say, look, this is what I have noticed and this is what I see, and then you become problematic. So a lot of times we, especially as Black women, feel like we're not heard because we have developed a high tolerance. When you have endometriosis, a lot of times you learn to have a high tolerance for pain because you just have to. Some days are easier than others. And it's not just a normal cycle is supposed to last anywhere from 2 to 7 days, supposed to. And that's not even normal. With endometriosis, this can affect you any time of the month, any day. It doesn't just happen around your cycle. A lot of times I can tell 2 to 3 weeks before my cycle starts, I have back pain, migraines, really sensitive to smell. And along with endometriosis has cousins that we were not aware of. Endometriosis and interstitial cystitis, they kind of go hand in hand. They're like cousins. You know, you invite one cousin and it's a party. All the cousins want to come. So interstitial cystitis is a painful bladder condition. I was told at one of my surgeries that my bladder was one of the worst ones that the surgeon had ever seen. That blew me away. Well, as a mom, sometimes we hold our, we have to go to the bathroom, but we can't always go. And most of the time when you go, you got to rush because it's 4 or 5 people calling your name. They want something. So there are bigger things that go hand in hand with endometriosis that nobody really talks about. And even the part that it blew me away to realize that it can grow and spread to the brain. However, I didn't realize, so when I first started my cycle, I was about 11 or 12. I think I was 11. And the first days of my cycle would be crippling to the point where I would miss school, on the floor with bad cramps. I started out young, taking Midol, naproxen, ibuprofen, things like that to mask the pain. Then it comes with a heating pad. And so I didn't realize that along with those cycles, I would have a migraine. And nobody knew that the migraines kind of went hand in hand with the endometriosis. I didn't even realize it early on. And in between having the cycle and having the migraines and having the endometriosis, I was a teen and I was in a bus accident where I hit my head, and then the migraines got worse. So it was like the correlation between migraines and endometriosis was, not connected because of the bus accident and the hitting of my head. And I hit my head so hard in the bus accident that my face turned purple. It was bruised blood, the doctor said. So fast forward about 15 years, the migraines had gotten so bad that I had to get Botox. And the migraines are the worst part. I could deal with the endometriosis flare up, warm baths, medication, heating pad, rest. But the migraines are crippling because smells, sounds, light, voices, everything would just make the migraine worse. And it had gotten to a point where I was getting the Botox injections from here. She was even doing them here all the way back into my neck. And that was the only way that I could function. And I was thinking, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? And when I started seeing that my own daughters were showing signs of endometriosis, that was a wake-up call for me. And I had to say, well, do I want this kind of life for them? Do I want them to have crippling migraines? Do I want them to have to suffer and be told that, oh, it's just a bad period? So I had to make some lifestyle changes that has helped me. And I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be focusing on. I do know that this is where I'm supposed to be focusing my attention, because everything points to, hey, you can help. Hey, research that. I go into bookstores, thrift stores. I just want to mind my business. Go to the section with the books. I want a trashy book. I'm a reader and a writer. I want to read for fun. God said, no, you're going to read for knowledge, because you have to help not just you and your kids and your kids, but you have to help the masses. So I pulled this up and I'm reading it and I'm studying it. And this book is thick, like God. I graduated a couple of times, but this right here is too much. But this book is by Christine Northrup. She's a doctor, and it's called Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, Creating Physical and Emotional Health and Healing. And it's crazy because the person who did her forward, a masterpiece, she says, her name is Carolyn Miss, and she says, a masterpiece for every woman who has interest in her body, her mind, and her soul. Well, I was on TikTok and somebody mentioned her book. So when I say that God has a way of saying, you're going to do this, you're going to do it, because even I can't even remember when I ordered this. But as you see, I got to take notes because I got to be able to flip flop and get back. But even in here, what does it talk about? Endometriosis. So if I try to run and hide from the calling, I'm still pulled back to it in various ways. And so I'm tired of running, God. I'm ready. Let's just see. Come on, give it to me, because I don't have nowhere else to run, because even when I try to, I get pulled back to it. And so much so that I had to study and see how can I cope, can I manage my endometriosis diagnosis. And I'm at the point now where it's just now becoming a normal cycle. There's no more real heavy bleeding. There's not a lot of pain. I'm old school, I'm knock on wood. The migraines have gone, and I broke another heating pad. Very expensive heating pad. I made a video, a TikTok video. It was like, oh, I got a new heating pad. It was, you know, great. I think my daughter broke it, but I broke it during my cycle. I've gotten to the point where now it's a crutch. So 9 times out of 10, I'm sleeping with my heating pad. I didn't realize it was a problem until I started taking it on vacation. And then I was like, I may be addicted to my heating pad. So cycle came on, heating pad broke, backup heating pad I had given to my daughter. And so no worries, I got a hot water bottle stash. The one that I found, because I usually have 2 hot water bottles, it had a hole in it. So here I am, full-blown cycle, no heating pad, no backup heating pad, no hot water bottle. And it's really easy to go to the store. It's not the kind, like on Amazon, I can order the best kind of heating pad. Going out to the store, I'm gonna get something cheap, the little plastic sunbeam kind. And if you know anybody with endometriosis, then you know that a lot of times we have burns. We have a what they call a heating pad rash. I have overused the heating pad. So I made it through this cycle without a heating pad. But I had my herbs that I drank. I even took a bath in the herbs. And I had a steam about 8 days before my cycle. This cycle was one of the easiest ones that I've had, but I did have to do a lifestyle change. I cut out red meat a couple of years ago. This year makes 2 years that I haven't eaten any chicken, and that is what I miss the most. I'm a surf and turf, so I thought, oh, I can't give up steak. I love steak. I love steak. But a lot of times when you have endometriosis, and it's on the bowels, your bowels don't move and your body doesn't rid itself of the meats. And so a lot of times they stick in, your body holds on to it, and it causes more pain and bloating and all kind of issues that I didn't even realize I had. I didn't know that my body wasn't moving the way normal bodies did. Like, I didn't know I had it. It has been going on since I started my cycle. So I had no idea. And I have no issues with that. At one point in time, I had to take a medication to help me use the bathroom daily. I don't have a problem with that. And I say this because I see so many women are suffering and we're being told the wrong things. I got blocked off of somebody's TikTok yesterday, and I was agreeing with the video. Like, but I'm hearing that there are young Black women in their 20s and 30s that have had hysterectomies because they were told that it was a fix. I remember my mom telling me that the doctor looked at my aunt and he could tell that she had fibroids and cysts. And I was like, no way. And I've gotten to the point where I can look at you and look at your stomach and tell that you have something going on down there. And it's almost like I'm drawn to the ones that have those bulging, you look pregnant and you're not. I'm gonna show some pictures where my last daughter, I hid her, not intentionally, but I was about 7 months before I really told people I was pregnant. Prior to that, and even after that, I was bigger with the fibroids, the endometriosis, the adenomyosis, the congested pelvic, the inflamed, the inflammation, everything. I was bigger with those than I was when I was carrying an actual life. And she was my largest. She was 7 pounds 4 ounces. The oldest was like 6'2". I was I was at a different weight. When I got pregnant with the first one, I was 116. I don't remember how big I was with the last one, but I know I got up to like 180, but nobody really questioned while I was pregnant, because I only gained my nose and my stomach was where I carried the kids at. But I was bigger with the endometriosis. So people asked, oh, you're pregnant? And I wasn't, but when I was, nobody asked. So here I am, vulnerable, naked and raw, telling you that endometriosis is manageable without birth control, without extra hormones, without losing your uterus. And even after you have the hysterectomy, sometimes you still need these herbs because you still kind of have cycles, you just don't bleed. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. You still have cycles. I'm gonna go as far to say men have cycles. We just don't know it. But I want to help as many women as I can, because I feel like I'm a walking miracle. And not only am I a walking miracle, but I had 3 walking miracles. One of the doctors told me my tubes were blocked. They don't understand how I was able to not only carry 3 healthy babies, but they don't understand how I got pregnant. And it was miscarriages and, you know, a lot of issues, fertility issues. There were things, at one point I'll say I probably didn't get pregnant until after I had surgeries where they cleaned out the endometriosis, which I've had 6 surgeries for endometriosis. However, not all surgeries were exercise. Some of them just were ablating the endometriosis, which causes it to grow back. It's something that they don't even discuss. But if you are suffering from endometriosis, if you're looking for alternatives, if you are fibroids, fibrocystic breasts, I have that too. I'm doing the research. I'm studying. Some of it I feel like I've done in a past life and it just comes natural, but I'm going to do what I can because I know what it's like. I remember helping somebody at one of their events, and I was working and moving and doing so much that my daughters had to help me in the house, in the shower, in the bed. And it wasn't even for me. I didn't get anything. I didn't get paid. I didn't get anything out of it. And then I couldn't walk. And that was a turning point for me when I said, I don't want to be a burden on my kids. I don't want them to have to help me live. I don't want them to have to worry about, I can't go away to school because my mom might need me, or I can't leave my mom because she may not be able to get out of bed, or I didn't want to be a burden on anybody. So I had to make some lifestyle changes. But also, I don't want the next 21-year-old having to go through the things for the next 20 years that I had to, which I'm looking in the face of one of those every day. And before my daughter left, I made her her own special blend, and I made her drink some. I made her take a bath and soak in it. And she didn't tell me that she had a headache, but she was like instantly her head felt better. And then that made me remember, oh yeah, that comes along with it. So come on this journey with me. Let's figure out how we can help each other and heal each other, because I had to heal thyself to be able to say, to be a living, walking testimony to say that you can do it too. So I know this video is long. I didn't give very many facts or myths, but that'll leave more room for the rest of the month because I am behind, but I owe so much more on this journey to other women, black, white, indifferent, young, old. So know that I'm doing the research. I'm studying. I'm going to take classes. I'm even going to find a forum to work at, so that I can figure out more. So hit me up. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's see if we can come up with a blend for you, and let's save our uteruses.